Hello and welcome everyone to this Warcraft replay. Sorry, just apologies first for uploading rather horribly recently. I haven't been that consistent, especially for probably the biggest Warcraft 3 tournament of 2013. Now, I might be missing out on WCG, but I'm not even sure if that even happened because I heard, oh, Warcraft 3 WCG 2013, and I don't think I've ever seen any replays available for that, so yeah, I'm not sure if that even happened. But either way, this is going to be the first game of this Best of 3 series. Still Group A of the AWC. Round of 10, yeah, some random thing like that. Either way, I'll just go into that later. I'll introduce the players. In the bottom left we have DHC's, I believe he's still DHC, Yumiko spawning in as the red human player. And he is going to get himself that Archmage. We did see a little bit of a speed build on the altar. We have WFZ spawning in as the blue undead player on the top left. The map is on Twisted Meadows, and we do see a graveyard after the Tomb of Relics. So we might go for, I guess, a Crypt Fiend transition. So yeah, I guess that's what we normally see in undead versus human players, basically. Mass ghouls probably more commonly more commonly shown in undead versus night elves, or maybe undead mirrors. Either way, it's going to be a Death Knight versus an Archmage. Yumiko going to be starting off with this orange golem camp right here. Let's just zoom out a bit. Don't know why I keep on zooming in for some reason. Who knows? Oh, it looks like Yumiko did not micro that single militia and will lose it. Tome of Knowledge and a Belt of Giant Strength will be picked up right there. So, not the best of items, but it will hopefully give that Archmage enough health to actually withstand from any Death Coil nonsenses. But there we go with the Death Coil to take out a militia, and that will give the Death Knight his first bit of experience. He'll get a second one and might get a third one. There we go, 75 points in his experience. Meanwhile, the Archmage is still just laughing at the DK with his level 2. Arcane Tower has yet to be finished, but there we go with a long distance Death Coil from WFZ. He is a sniper in terms of that Death Coil. So anyway, about the other series that I've yet to cast, I will cast them. I might just cast a second series after this one. So the series that I have yet to actually cast, it's Loliet versus Shishi, WFZ versus Focus, Shishi versus Focus, WFZ versus Loliet, and Yumiko versus Shishi, and Yumiko versus Loliet. That's a lot, and that's just the Group A. There's also Group B, which is like a lot more as well. It's horrible, to be fairly honest. I think that's, I don't know, how many series is that? How many series is that? About 20, I guess you could say 20. That might be a little too excessive. I might be horribly wrong by there. Either way, if you don't know who's in Group B, and yes, AWC actually finished a long time ago. Who's in Group B? It's basically Lucifer, Envy, Moon, Elegant, and Tho. You might think that Group E might be a little stronger than Group A, and I guess I couldn't blame you guys. But then again, I guess I would argue at the same time. Either way, Death Knight does not look like he did much since, I guess, we gone off the topic of about the game. Either way, the Archmage is now going to try and chase that Archmage, who now has the boots of speed, so it's going to be a little harder for the Death Knight to actually assassinate the Archmage. I mean, if that was ever possible with the +6 strength now. Either way, let's go back to the base of WFZ. He is producing those Crypt Fiends. Didn't pull off any ghouls, and that would be kind of predictable for this kind of build order. we might be seeing an instant tier 3 coming in, and then the Lich might be following up. As soon as the tier 3 finishes, the Troll Trapper will be stolen with the Death Coil, but the DK is actually taking a lot of damage, and the Archmage does have, he does have a pretty long range, so might be able to take advantage of that. He does have a movement speed advantage as well, so that's a thing. Either way, Yumiko is going to pick up a Parapet of Vitality. That's even more health than the Archmage usually had. These skeletons, not sure what they're doing. Oh, they were about to go for that low hit point Peasant, who actually was taken out, so that is another bit of experience for the Death Knight. He is just one more kill away from level 2. I'm not sure if the effort he's actually put into this is worth it though. Defend upgrades have been finished, and the Death Knight is very, very close to, I guess, death. Haha. Either way, expansion is going to come down for Yumiko, and hopefully that will, I guess, push him up a little bit, because he is behind in technology. That's what you would expect if you're going to expand first, and it does not look like WFZ is going to invest in tier 3 at all. So he finished himself that Lich, he's going to get himself that Slaughterhouse, and he does not have the gold necessary to actually start tier 3, and that's not what's going to happen. He is going to go straight into that first Obsidian statue. So, WFZ's still going the Mass Crypt Fiends, but he's a little less reliant, I guess, on destroyers and solely that Lich as well. Maybe that's the point. Wow, this Trapper has yet to be killed off, but it does not look like that will be true for a while longer. Yumiko, now switching from creeping, or passive creeping, to just being aggressive, is doing very well against WFZ, I guess. The Death Knight does look like he did pick up a few kills. Actually, we could look at the Lich and see better results. There we go with the turnaround Death Coil right there. The Crypt Fiend will be able to withstand a little bit more hits on the Archmage. There we go with the Frost Nova. Yumiko, despite being a pretty tanky Archmage, still needs to be careful. Who knows what that nasty undead combination could actually bring. And this is where I wished that maybe a Crypt Lord would have been added to this, just to add the surprise nature to the nuking combo, I guess. But yep, tier 3 is on its way, so WFZ is at least thinking about that, at least thinking about late game, because he knows he's not going to do well with just Mass Crypt Fiends. Obviously it's not really working out so well for him, even right now. And yes, he is managed to pick off a couple of footmen here and there, but mainly Yumiko would like to get rid of these footmen, either through just creeping or just losing them in battle. Hopefully pick off a couple of Crypt Fiends in the process, but Yumiko would probably like to just lose them to creep. He would most likely just replace that supply with the double arcane units. We will have a blacksmith being placed down, so that kind of shows that a workshop might be placed down, and it might not be entirely the double arcane sanctums. I believe I said it in the recent human Warcraft game that a lot of humans actually valuing to add in that workshop alongside those double arcane sanctums, because just going full casters or full spellbreakers is not that great. Either way, here we go with what I said. Yumiko is basically just throwing out his footmen, hopefully to just get a couple of them in the process, but obviously this is not as efficient as Yumiko would have liked, now that WFZ actually has the burrow upgrades researched. Now the elementals just also tossing themselves, hopefully to get a little bit of those obsidian statues for themselves, but statues very much in high health. Although they can't really be healed up through conventional means, unholy aura is still applying to them, so they will slowly regenerate health. this is where we look at Yumiko's base. Keep Tick has I guess a couple of seconds to complete, and then we will see the additions of those production buildings. Meanwhile, we did see Yumiko actually going all out with those towers. It may, well, 5 or 6 towers may not seem all out, but I mean, the amount of towers that actually just started instantly upgrading kind of showed that Yumiko was kind of in a bind here, because he knows that what he has right now cannot fit against this, and WFZ is actually doing very well, able to take down that third tower. Will we have an attack coming up? No, we do not. Destroyer Farm has just finished, and it does look like WFZ is going to do the same thing as well, converting most of those Ziggurats into the Spirit Towers, and we did have a Goblin Zapper try to go for a suicide run and manage to take down the Tomb of Relics. So that might be a big hindrance for WFZ. Yumiko is going to spend a lot of resources trying to repair this guard tower if WFZ actually realized that the Lich has no mana, so it's kind of hard to actually deal with this, as Frost Nova is probably a perfect spell to counteract this. Either way, Yumiko is going to go for a Mountain King to hopefully reinforce his units right there. Yumiko didn't look like he invested a lot in that attack. Maybe he lost all his footmen. It does look like that. However, those towers, I believe, were the killers of those footmen. Won't give experience to the Death Knight or the Lich. However, the Death Knight is a level 3 and the Lich is level 2. Mountain King is fresh new, level 1, and the Archmage is only level 3. Halfway as well. Halfway to level 4. There we go with the first Destroyer. I doubt it is going to absorb any mana, because I don't think this actually calls for it at all. And there we go, Yumiko did build a couple more towers in the back here, but these can easily be burnt by the destroyers, I guess, or just constant focus fire from these Crypt Fiends. Crypt Fiends, surprisingly very good siege units, even though they don't exactly have the siege attack type. Now the Archmage, what is he going to do? He's probably going to purchase maybe the Scrolls of Healing and maybe the Scroll of Protection. Nope, they will go with the TP Staff and a spell of retraining. He is going to go for the Blizzard skill set here, and we will see the Blizzard being placed right over there. I think WFZ actually anticipated this, and Yumiko is... Oh yeah, that was a little unnecessary, keeping those Blizzard waves going. Anyway, this is not looking good for Yumiko at all. Even though his main production buildings are in his expansion, we do not see that workshop being placed down. That is rather unfortunate, because this is not going to work out so well if he's just going to go mass Spellbreakers. Because, to be fairly honest, even though these Spellbreakers look like they will do fine against these Crypt Fiends, the amount of Crypt Fiends out there already, I mean, they can just focus fire one by one, but they don't choose to do that because they would rather get the workers instead. Yumiko is wasting quite a bit of mana on the Blizzards. Unfortunately, he's not getting the best of Blizzards. What he could do is probably, I guess that there's a lot burrowed under here, and he would actually force a lot to actually come up. Either way, it looked like WFZ is actually going to work his way through that keep, which does have +1 masonry upgrades, but it will not have +2 at all. Yumiko, despite having a second base, is facing quite a bit of gold problem here. He is pretty much high in that lumber, but that's mainly because of his Goblin Shredder, and that is actually taking quite a bit of supply as well. Yeah. So it looks like mass Spellbreakers for Yumiko. He is adding in Priest to his army composition. +1. Is that +1? No, that's +2, I believe. Though, yeah, that's +2. So, wow. Unbeknownst to me, actually, that Yumiko is about to go 2-2 with his Spellbreakers upgrades. Now, there we go, the Blizzard. Lionhorn of the Stormwind has actually been picked up. One Obsidian Statue will be taken out by the Blizzard. That was a nice Blizzard, as WFZ forgot to actually pull back his units. There we go with another one. Great thing about Blizzard is that it does not affect those Spellbreakers at all. One Burrowed Crypt Fiend Oh, just one more wave would have killed that Crypt Fiend. Either way, it looks like the Mountain King is actually pushing away this attack. There we go with the reveal right there. I was expecting a Blizzard to come in, but the burrowed Crypt Fiends will be taken out nonetheless. Magic Sentry, I believe, was the cause of this, as Magic Sentry Arcane Towers actually give you free reveals. So yeah, Masonry upgrade, not Masonry upgrades. Yumiko is at 52 supply versus WFZ's 48. He used to be 59, and that changed. However, he is going to get himself a Boneyard. Frostworms are incoming. Shades are, I guess, roaming around for shady locations. Yeah, I'm trying to be funny a little bit. But yeah. What you don't want it to do is actually overlook, I guess, is the better word. Overlook the possible expansions that might be around, because WFZ, even though he looked like he was in the lead, kind of dropped the ball like really hard, and I am actually surprised Yumiko is actually pulling this through. I mean, he is Yumiko, but still. Tome of Experience has been picked up, plus 100 experience, able to give that Lich level 4. That is going to be a little bit of a scary Lich. The only thing is he's not as scary as Liches used to be. Now, Liches used to be like at least plus 12 or some ridiculous number like that, but no, it's just plus 5 and whatever items. I mean, yeah. Illyria's Fluid of Accuracy has been picked up from one of the Troll Warlord camps, but that's on the DK for some reason. Either way, this Troll Warlord will be dropping that plus 4 Ring of Protection, a magical item right there, one of the useless items in all of the rarest. And flying machines are being queued up. There is the workshops that I was actually talking about, but flying machines weren't exactly on my list of anticipated units. Because I think Frostworms are way better than those flying machines, and I will generally argue with anyone who disagrees, because those Frostworms also do splash damage if I'm not mistaken. And if I am mistaken, then I would completely just 360 or 180 my opinion, and yeah, I would support your opinion instead of my horrible mistaken logic. Either way, Frostworms, even though they will do nicely against those flying machines, is kind of a weird choice, because this is going to be a thing between superior air versus superior ground. I generally would take superior ground because superior ground usually stomps over buildings, but what WFC is going for is Frostworms. They do magic damage, however magic can't actually damage spellbreakers. The only problem is with Yumiko is that spellbreakers are immune to magic, but they can't attack up. It's like weird logic right there. I mean, they are ranged technically, but they can't attack air units for some reason. Same thing applies for the destroyers as well. However, they can definitely just chew on those priests, and that will be horribly witnessed. Either way, Yumiko is 64 over 66 versus 64 over 70. So we are technically in equal supply, but you gotta remember that most of the supply is because that Yumiko has 2 mining bases. He has a lot of flying machines as well. These guys cost only 1 food, and oh, Disease Cloud is actually on those Spellbreakers. Disease Cloud is actually an interesting upgrade in my opinion. It periodically damages Spellbreakers and basically anyone affected. Spellbreakers are not immune to a Disease Cloud because, well, if you don't understand, there are physical debuffs and there are magical debuffs. And Disease Cloud is actually a physical. No magic behind it, it's just you know, a disease. Kind of straightforward. Either way, Yumiko is playing the cat and mouse game right here. WFZ is, funnily enough, playing along with it, but he is going to just clear out this camp, pick up the item, which is the Gloves of Haste, and we have a gold mine being haunted over here in the top right, which is kind of odd. It's not normally the norm for undead players to take expansions, but at this point, he knows that Yumiko is going to outlast him. I guess he wants to just keep on pumping out units. Uh-oh. Ooh, wow. Griffin very close to dying right there, but there we go with the Dust Appearance. Was that Dust Appearance? Yeah, apparently that was Dust. And Invulnerability Potion is going to be used with the TV Scroll, and we're going to get out of here. Now, if this actually goes as long as I would think, Mass Teleport might actually be like the biggest of pains to actually deal with if you were in WFZ's position right now. It looks like all these flying machines are rallied to that Archmage. That is one popular Archmage, if I don't say so myself. Surprisingly enough, WFZ only sitting on one Froststorm at a time. Now, it doesn't mean that he had another Froststorm queuing up. He just didn't decide to go for another one. While destroyers are going to actually take a lot of flack. Yeah, these flying machines will dominate the airs. This is no problem for Yumiko. Now, even though I did say outright that, oh wow, Thunderclap actually used to take care of one of those Crypt Fiends. Now, I did say outright that Froststorms are way better than these flying machines. But come on, that was just one Froststorm. You cannot flack me over that. So yeah. Now, what would be even more scarier is that if Yumiko actually decided to upgrade that air-to-ground upgrade. I mean, these things are literally useless. Because at this point, I think WFZ is going to be like, screw it, I am not gonna create any more air units. And you can see right here, WFZ actually unsummoned his Boneyard. So yeah, he's gonna go like full-on mass Crypt Fiends. I'm surprised he didn't build a second Crypt just to pump those guys out, but apparently that's not necessary, as these flying machines, well, they're basically useless. And who knows, they might actually be just experience farm for WFZ at this point. We will be mining off 2 bases for WFZ. This gold mine will be out, and I believe, actually, wow, I cannot estimate because there's only one Acolyte actually mining off this base. That is the awkwardest calculation that I was ever gonna do. So, but yeah, this mine, even though it's not out, well, it still has a lot of gold, mainly because of that early harassment that WFZ actually put on Yumiko a long time ago. Not sure if this expansion has actually been spotted, but yeah, I was gonna look in Yumiko, but it doesn't matter. Yumiko's already at this base anyway, and he is gonna go straight after this haunted gold mine. He's gonna go after the Acolytes first, and oh wow, Orb of Darkness actually being picked up from somewhere. Where did you pick that up? I have no idea where you picked that up. It might have been the bottom right. And it looks like Yumiko is actually going to make himself a home. There we go with an Acolyte being dropped right there. Unfortunately, Stormbolt does not proc the Orb of Darkness skeletal minions. So yeah, that was a thing. Yumiko's second expansion attempt has been spotted. Here we go with a lot of flying machines, but basically they are just free farm at this point. Yumiko might actually lose all these towers as they are in under construction, and under construction buildings take even more damage than they would if they were built. But of course, scout towers are lightly armored, so they don't actually eat up a lot of damage. So yeah, this is rather a lengthy game. I mean, it didn't pass the 30-minute mark, but it came to the point where I think both players are pretty much starved, and at the same time they're starving their opponents. And WFZ main base is going to take quite a bit of damage. There is only one Acolyte mining off this base. Will be mined out in I guess 2 minutes. At most, I guess. Oh, here we go with a big interception right here. If you can take at least one unit out, that would be great. Now it's just come to the point where WC needs to actually just rush his opponent, but that's not going to happen. Where is most of his units? Is this seriously most of his units? 52 versus 74. Wow, Yumiko is in a big lead right now. Sources is going to check this gold mine if it is again haunted. That level 3 death coil is not enough. And Yumiko, wow, Yumiko is thinking of expanding to the corner islands. Nice pickup right there from the observer, and that is like one of the insulting moves right there, because no one takes these corner expansions. But obviously when you have a million flying machines, why the hell not? Spellbreaker has been devoured, but this red dragon will be taken out very soon, and it might drop one of the best loots ever. Replenishment potion and a red drake egg. Not that great. Red drake is not a red dragon. Red drake is basically a tier below red dragon, but it's still level 6 unit either way. I don't think it has the devour ability either, so yeah, that is something to keep in mind. Either way, Yumiko, basically why he's in the lead so far is because he managed to keep the second base, and it looked like he is actually going to mine it out. He did not mine this one out, which is rather sloppy for him. Griffin Aviary finally being placed down. I guess this is where he's going to be bringing in the highest of the tiers of units in the human arsenal, or something like that. Knights might be a thing. Knights will do fairly nicely against this kind of unit composition. And WFZ is still scared of creating air units. He's still scared of making frost storms, and it was smart to not heavily invest in those frost storms. They were 7 supply, and they costed a crap ton of money. So yeah, it was smart to just get one at a time. Meanwhile, Yumiko kind of overdid it with his flying machines. They're basically used for scouting now. So yeah, let's look at the upgrades. I'm actually curious on the upgrades. It looked like they actually stayed 2-2, but that's generally because tier 3 is not done yet. And the dwarven stuff is basically 1-2. Okay, main expansion is going to be Siege right here. This might be crippling for Yumiko, but to be fairly honest, he does have, or will have, an expansion in the bottom left. That's way too many towers for an expansion that might not even be seen. Let's look at the WFZ cam. He does not know that is actually there. Yeah, which might be like the biggest disappointment that WFZ might actually find in this game. Either way, no level 6 heroes, which is actually surprising to me. It's nearing the 30-minute mark, and we do not have a single level 6 hero. Where's Yumiko's heroes, I wonder? Oh, they're actually there. Level 4, nearly level 5, and a level 5 Archmage as well. Common Laboratory. Free farm, basically just to... No, they're literally free farm. Basically, they're just there to be destroyed, and this will actually put Yumiko upside down in supply. Okay, there we go, level 5 on the Mountain King. WFZ, pretty much GG's. I mean, if he actually found out Yumiko expanded in the corner island, he would have GG'd long ago. Either way, that is going to be the first game. Hopefully the second one is not as long. I'll see you guys next time.